I got the power. Down, 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 down. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment with a brand new debut of a brand new show. I'll say brand new, it's been out for about a decade. But we're looking at Par today. And I'll give you two reasons why I wanted to watch this. So maybe I'll talk about more than two reasons, right? But one, it's one of those shows that I just never got around to watching, but is relatively big. I don't think it's anywhere near the levels of, shows that I've watched, because I think if it was, you would have watched it by now. But the problem is with that, we have to dive into it. And with reason number two, Tommy Flanagan's in it. Obviously, he's in the spin-offs, so it means you have to sit through 6 seasons, which I'm not exactly pleased about, or I'd rather he was in the OG series. But I'm looking forward to it. What did I think of the premiere? I thought it was alright. Nothing special, nothing like unreal, like nothing that was like groundbreaking, absolutely getting me to watch the next episode. Did I feel like it did a purpose of a premiere that set up the rest of the show, rest of the season? Yes. But did anything blow me away? Was it particularly funny? No. Am I invested in any of the characters? Not really. But it's only one episode in. You can't be critical too much when you're one episode in. But anyway, guys, I'm looking forward to it. Watched it yesterday, last night. So we're going to be reviewing it this morning. And I thought the Wikipedia page would have more than the plot line that it's got here, where it's literally got about 5 lines. But no worries, guys, because I know what's happened. But the synopsis for this episode is: James St. Patrick, aka Ghost, opens Truth nightclub, hoping it's successful. Let him leave his life as an NYC drug kingpin, but a run-in with a past love and a drug-related attack threaten him. So 50 Cent, obviously the creator of this show, his music is throughout this, and Ghost and his wife, Tasha St. Patrick, well, last name St. Patrick, they enter the club. It's completely filled to the brim. His partner tells him this is the best nightclub opening ever. We're 400, even though the fire marshal says we're only allowed 325. He's loving life, he doesn't give a fuck. But apparently there's some business that he needs to handle downstairs. But before we get to that business, I understand, right? He's opened a club, but at the same time, do we really need to see like club scenes so much? We're only in the first episode, and I'd say about like 10 minutes at the first episode were literally just music in the club, right? So anyone watching this show, you'll be of a certain age where you've been in a club, you've been in a nightclub, you've been in a bar. We know how it works. I really hope throughout these 6 seasons we don't get this, like, these nightclub montages, man, unless they're warranted, honestly, because it would get old really quick. And even in this premiere, I was like, I really need to see one of these again. You're trying to watch it, man, you don't want to be getting a banging headache. Dun 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 dun. 50 Cent music in the club, everybody, he heads downstairs, but apparently there's an issue. We're introduced to Thomas Egan. It is Ghost's best friend. I'm going to assume it's his best friend. And he's interrogating Miguel Alvarez about where the money is. Because apparently one of their drivers got hit last night, stole a lot of money. And that is essentially what the plot line of this episode is. These two trying to figure out who stole all their money. Who put it in motion. Obviously this guy did, but yeah, this guy gets threatened, but his girlfriend gets let to go. Ghost is like, oh, we can't kill her because she could have ties to the cartel and then they'll come looking for us. Yeah, but at the same time, so what about this guy? He could have ties, but they drop him. They drop Miguel, but the woman has to go. Yeah, it just seems a bit weird. Of course, Miguel Alvarez is played by Manny Montana, so a really good acting choice there. I actually genuinely thought, maybe this guy have a big part to play. But then he says, I ain't afraid to die, and then goes like, well, I ain't afraid to kill you, and then drops him. You know what? A pretty cool kill. But I'm surprised. I actually thought his Manny Montana's character would last a wee bit longer, but he didn't. And that's the sad reality of it here. So he gets absolutely gunned down. And these two, we've got Ghost. He's going to have to do stuff. Him and his wife leave the club. He doesn't get home to a wee bit later that night. We kind of see him shut down all his network, so all these people get the text of 86, so we can't do it anymore. We have to get shut down for the night until we find out who it is. So yeah, the next morning his wife's like, well, I can make you feel a bit better. And I was wondering how explicit is this show going to be? I don't know what the Stars network is like. I've never actually heard it. This is like the only show I've ever heard that is on the Stars Network. But I thought, but drug kingpins in fucking New York City, 50 cents behind it. There's probably going to be a lot of nudity, and damn, was I right? Because Ghost and Tasha get straight down to business here. St. Patrick would be turning in his grave at the amount of freaky stuff that was going on here. But it's weird. It's like he's doing missionary, he's doing doggy, he's doing everything, and throughout this, he's just imagining killing. Well, not imagining, he's just like thinking about Miguel, how he killed him. I'm like, is this guy a bit gay, or what's going on here? I understand. Oh, he's showing remorse for kill. Yeah, hold on, no. Right, the guy's been in this like drug kingpin shit. You know, he started from the bottom. Now he's there for like what 20 years. He kills a guy, and suddenly, oh, damn, don't like this. Don't like the way this is going, man. Come on. Come on. Absolutely not, to be honest. But he wakes up and guess what, guys? We've got to take care of business. So we see him. He goes to Carlos Ruiz. He's like, my shipment's got to USA. And then this Ghost can speak a bit of Spanish, which I was kind of wondering about. I wonder how he can speak Spanish. But we see more pickups throughout the day. Like the Truth nightclub like manager, he kind of just gets spoke down to a lot. I get it. These two are kingpins in New York with the drug stuff, but yeah, they're treating this guy like pure dirt, which is kind of funny at the same time. But as what it is, we kind of get like a quick introduction to Ghost's family. Don't really care, if I'm being honest. And then there was like a really weird scene of like the driver who drives Ghost about. Can't actually remember his name, but he looks at Tasha's ass as she's like bending into the fridge, and I was like, is he gonna do something now? Turns out she does something a wee bit later on. But throughout this episode, they're trying to figure out like what is happening with these shipments and who stole from them, and they don't really get anywhere. If I'm being honest, like you would think surely that these two, you know, being like top dogs, they would get somewhere. So it just constant like tripping over each other. We get to like the next night. They're at the nightclub. Ghost kind of speaks down to his wife, like, no, you're not trying to get in for free. Wear that purple dress I bought you. It's like, this guy's telling his wife how it is, which I thought was a wee bit out of line. It was a wee bit out of line for Ghost personally, but I mean, it is what it is. He's a drug kingpin in New York City, brother. And also, when they did go to the cartel guy, who I cannot actually remember his name, Felipe Lopez, is that who it is? I don't know, right? Whoever the top cartel guy is, the cartel guy makes him sound like a fucking bitch. And like even the way the guy walks about, and he's walking about with his number two, and he doesn't even take his arms out of his jacket. His number two takes it off. What the fuck? Come on. That's a wee bit embarrassing. And this guy just does not strike me as a cartel leader. I'm sorry. People can say what they want, but he is just not a cartel leader in my personal opinion. Is what it is, though. I guess we've got to move on. Yeah, like I said, we get to the club that night. Ghost is running about. He's kind of like frantic. And then he spots this woman on the dance floor. This woman who kind of looks, you know, late 30s. Nothing spectacular about her. And he goes down. His wife thinks she's coming down for him. And then he actually goes to her. Turns out they know each other, and then he's like, did he just call you boss? He's like, yeah, I own this nightclub, baby. And then he's like, oh, I need to get your number. Turns out, in a later conversation with Tommy Egan, these two were like childhood sweethearts till she left him to go pursue a lawyer job, which is fair enough. I'm kind of wondering here, we've just been introduced to this guy, he's going to job out his wife. And then his wife, at that night, later jobs him out, because when she gets picked up by the driver, She pulls down like the wee glass thing in between the back seats and the front seats, takes off her underwear, and then starts having a little freaky time with herself. And I'm like, what's this all about, man? Honestly, like, she's 3 kids to this guy, and here she is jobbing them out after no proof, right? There is no. I know she could be like, oh, but you were getting her number, for fuck. You know your husband is high up, man. He could have been getting the number for any reason. But albeit we know why he's getting the number, because he wants to get into Angela. But anyway, I digress. And yeah. And what happens next, actually? The cartel guy goes and meets with Carlos Ruiz, who has his own wee crew. And then we see this guy with like a teardrop tattoo, like watching this. He was watching a few things this episode. I'm kind of thinking, when is this guy going to come in to play? We then cut to an elevator scene where one of their sellers gets into the elevator, and this couple walks in, but she spots a tattoo on this guy. And then when she tries to get out, she gets attacked by both of them. She ends up getting slashed in the face, but she ends up shooting the guy, and then the woman escapes. And then we cut to Angela, and then we're introduced to the woman's in The Sopranos. I can't remember her name. Artie's wife, Charmaine Bucco, right? So she's in this show, the actress who plays her, she is like the lead lawyer here. And then it turns out there's a task force against the cartel, but they don't know. So the lawyers are obviously going to be helping the police here. It's cartel, I mean, it's like a RICO case, whatever you want to call it, man. It's a big police case against the cartel, right? And they're like, well, he's here because someone is distributing his drugs here in NYC and they're the biggest kingpin. Are you trying to tell me that they don't know who the fuck this is? Obviously, this is setting up for a dramatic reveal, right? For Angela to find out it's Ghost. But would it not have just been better that this PowerPoint presentation here that they were doing was that it's Ghost? How would they not know? How do the police, right, and these lawyers and everyone connected to this case not know who it is? It's not even like they went through where the most likely candidates. They did nothing. And to me, that's just a bit retarded. Why wouldn't they do that? I honestly, genuinely do not get that, how they would not know. But then they're going through Ghost. They're like, well, they're like, obviously they're talking about Ghost, but they don't know it's Ghost. Well, the contact, his family could be in danger. We could use that to our leverage. We know that the cartel is not happy about the fact that some of their shipments have been hit and could be likely to off Ghost. We could be viewed as an ally for whoever this drug kingpin is here in NYC. Now, the episode kind of ends with Ghost by himself looking around, and it's like, oh, are they going to get to Ghost? Obviously, right? This guy, I doubt very much that this guy is going to turn rat, but I just feel like it's ridiculous that you're led to believe here that the police do not have any inkling about who this main person is in New York City. Like, come on. Like, it's not like... I mean, I know you could argue in Breaking Bad they didn't really know it was Gus, but they knew about the Salamancas, they knew about all that, and Hank managed to figure out it was Gus. I mean, we're not talking about the guy who cooks the meth like Heisenberg. There's no real reason for them to know it's Heisenberg. But, like, surely they would have some knowledge about who is high up the food chain, man. Anyway, that is it for episode 1 of season 1 of Power. There is only 8 episodes in season 1, which is intriguing. Usually you also get like 10 or 13, sometimes 16 or something. Or if it's Prison Break, you get like 24, or Lost as well. But what am I going to give this episode out of 10? I'm going to give it a 6. I thought it was a decent premiere. It gets you intrigued. It sets up a story for the rest of the season. But like I said, I feel like there is just a few problems with it. But you know what? No, not one. I mean, maybe Tommy Egan strikes me as like the best character so far. But only time will tell what happens there, guys. But anyway, it's a 6 out of 10 for me. And until next time, peace.